My mom knew the baby wasn't mine, but kept her mouth shut. I'm 26 male, still so angry about this even though it happened almost over a month ago. My ex-girlfriend, 27 female, who I've been with since high school, cheated on me. Supposedly, she couldn't handle the guilt anymore and told me there's a good chance the 10-month-old baby boy I thought was ours might be from some other guy. As it turns out, I'm not the father. I'm super pissed off and hurt and feel like a freaking moron more than anything. We're obviously done. I told her I never want to see her again. I've moved out of our apartment, and I'm living with my friend now. Working on getting me removed from the birth certificate with an attorney. I can officially be done with them. I guess everyone's deciding to confess their sins to me because now my mom is admitting that she knew the baby wasn't mine, and she's sorry for not saying anything. She knew since my ex was pregnant that the baby might not be mine. My ex called her up crying and confessed to everything when she first found out she was pregnant because she was scared that I might figure out I'm not the father. Cheating ex is one thing, but seriously, my mom feels more betrayed that she of all people would hide this from me. The one person you're supposed to trust and whose first instinct is to protect you. I can't believe it. My mom keeps saying she's sorry. She never told me because she hoped the baby was mine and didn't want me to get hurt. A whole freaking mess, 10 months of taking care of a baby that I thought was mine, and she thinks this was the better outcome. Then I don't know, getting a freaking paternity test after birth so that I didn't waste all this time. At least my dad and my older brother are pissed off about what she did too, but everybody else won't leave me alone about how I'm being with my mom. They all think I'm punishing her too hard for this, and she thought she was helping me at the same time that I need to forgive, but I don't know if I can do that. To be honest, I don't know what I should do about my mom. She has always been there for me, but these feel like something I can't come back from. Any advice? Update. It's been a long couple of weeks, but it feels like a lot of time has gone by with everything that's happened. Took some time to get the anger out of me. Broke some stuff, went on a solo trip to clear my head and feel like it accepted my reality. The support I've gotten there helped so much it feels good to just be heard. You know? Once I was back, I had a long conversation with my mom. Everything that I needed to tell her, the fact that she chose to stand behind a cheating liar or her own son, no matter what good intentions she thought she had, let her say whatever she needed to say to me. All this talk about wanting me and my girlfriend to be a family, for that baby to have a loving father and not wanting to hurt me, then I told her I was done with her. Honestly, there is nothing she could do to gain back my trust that would ever make me want her back in my life and not look at her in total disgust. I said that I'm sorry, but she's dead to me. It's better now she accepts. I don't want to see her anymore, not with how much this has effed me up. My mom obviously tried to fight me on this, but I only said if she wants a child so bad, go ahead and call up my ex, but not gonna let either of them hurt me again. You can imagine some of the crap I've gotten from the other family members, but the second I said I'll cut off from them too, it stopped. I've changed my number, only my dad and a few other people know. Crazy part is I definitely felt a lot lighter after that conversation with her. It took me a couple days to process and accept it. My dad at least is there for me. He was there to hold me when I broke down from everything. As far as the situation with my ex and refusing to go after the real father, well, that was a total crap show. It took a lot to convince her to do this for me. Asking her of breaking me mentally and emotionally wasn't enough for her, since she was gonna fight having me on the birth certificate when I just wanted to completely be free from them. Finally, a couple days ago, she told me who it is and she promises she'll cooperate with removing me from the baby's birth certificate. I had suspected the reason she was refusing so much to say who it was because it was probably someone we knew personally. Not anyone in my family at least, and even though that's what I suspected, it still freaking hurts. The snakes you never realized you had in your life, it takes a toll on you. So that's another thing I'm trying to process since it's still so fresh, trying to get through it, though, and finally heal from everything. At least legally, it might not be such a hard battle unless she changes her mind, which honestly you never know. I'm hoping she doesn't, because all I want to be is done with them and not be stuck paying for someone else's kid for 18 years of my life. Sorry, this wasn't such a happy update. At least I've learned who the real toxic people in life are and have cut them out. First reaction coming from OK Breakfast, 9531. I am so sorry for what your mom put you through. Your ex is one thing, but your mom took away your choices and was willing to saddle you with a lie forever. At least your ex confessed. Good luck with everything, and I'm so glad you still have your dad and other family. Rip Ghislaine says, Jesus Christ, man, the legal issues she's created for you alone is enough reason to never speak to her again. Your name shouldn't have ever been on that birth certificate. I'm sure you're going through tons of emotions and trying to work out personal things, but you need to put 100% of your energy into getting your name off that certificate. Otherwise, this can be a long-term problem. I'm sorry. This is totally effed up. Wish you the best, man. Corgi Ambitious has the next comment, effing unreal, but I think you made the right choice. Sorry for this heinous situation you've dealt with, but I too could never trust my mother again if she did this, regardless of the reason. The reason why people stop bugging you once you tell them you'll cut them off too, because they don't actually believe your mother deserved forgiveness. They just want things to go back to a happy-go-lucky situation, and it's no skin off their backs to have it be so. The second you tell them things will only break further if they push, they drop it. You can take solace in the fact that they don't actually support your mother. They were just hoping this would be swept under the rug. One more comment before moving on, coming from the Mockingbird. Being on the birth certificate will be an obstacle even if your ex seems to be agreeable getting you off and admitting child support. Get a lawyer like yesterday and have them get your ex in writing while she's feeling remorse. Feelings change, and she may turn to anger once it sets in that you're done with her, etc., or maybe the other guy has some deadbeat, and she'd rather avoid dealing with him and being a single mother. Regardless of reasoning, you shouldn't count on her being helpful. Outside of that, this was a good update. You've made progress. Even if it doesn't feel like you become aware of the toxicity in your life and you've taken steps to distance yourself and go no contact. Progress can be slow, but it's still better than the alternative. You're nearly done with this chapter of your life. Look to the future. Moving on to the next story, my ex decided she no longer wants to be part of our son's life. My ex, 30 female, and I, 28 male, broke up and my son, 5, was a year old. Her work made her travel a lot, so we agreed that I'd have full custody and she got visitation on weekends. He loves his mom, which is why this crushes me. She asked us if we could talk when I was at work on my lunch break, so she came over and said she's been thinking about this for a long time. She doesn't think she could be my son's mom anymore. I literally don't know where this came from, and my ex was totally serious too because she wants to move closer to home and try to have a family. According to her, she felt she didn't have my son the right way. We were casually dating for 10 months, then we realized she was pregnant. So for that reason, she wants to try again, but better. My son isn't involved because it's not fair for him to be between two households. Which was a weak-ass excuse for me. We had a long argument about it, then tried to talk more seriously. Nothing changed. She was still more sure about this and will even go back to court to terminate her visitation rights. I'm so lost over this. It's been a few days. We've only talked a few more times about this. Her mind hasn't changed. She keeps saying it's for the best. Even for this weekend, she says she'll be busy so he can't go stay with her. I'm asking her what the hell does she want me to tell him, but she won't even help with that. I'm really lost. It feels out of nowhere and I really don't know how to explain any of this to my son. I mean, why do you even tell your kid their mom suddenly decided she doesn't want to be his mom anymore? I'm really worried about what this is going to do to him. Can anyone give me advice? Ask her advice and you will receive it. Diagnosed Wolf says, I think it's lawyer time. You need this all locked down legally. Make sure it's watertight. Make sure that you have complete legal custody so that there aren't any disasters in your future. You do not want to be sitting in and with your kid and only then realize that you need mom's permission as well for him to have his appendix removed and have to scramble to find her. You do not want your ex to waltz back into your life in 5 years and demand to pick back up where you left off and have a major legal battle because you technically never changed custody arrangements. You really don't want a surprise lawsuit suddenly because your ex suddenly decides she wants her baby back and accuses you of kidnapping him or something. You also want to have something to show your son later when he's older that proves that you're telling the truth when you explain what happened and why mom vanished. So, lawyer, deal with the emotional fallout later. PD. Porkchops has some advice too. F her. He may love her, but she doesn't love him. She wants to try to build a new family after giving up her kid. Well, I have nothing nice to say. What I will say is the same I'd say in any situation with one crappy parent. You may not want to be in his life, but your tanks are going to provide for the child you helped create. Go ahead and get a lawyer and get her on child support and maybe a child therapist to help your son. You're going to meet a good woman one day who will love your son as much as she would her own child. It's just going to be some tough years until then. Keep your head up for your son and get that child support locked in ASAP. Our last comment before moving on comes from Lou 1845. You need a lawyer and a therapist. She will still have to pay child support, she only gets out of that if she gives up parental rights. That only happens if a court approves it, and they usually won't unless there is someone wanting to adopt like a stepmother. Very sorry for you and your son. It sounds like mentally and emotionally, she is already long gone. And on to the next story. I, male 25, overheard by girlfriend, female 23, and her sister calling me ugly. Can't get over it. Backstory, my girlfriend and I have been together for a little over a year now. She is an extremely kind person. I struggled a lot with low self-esteem when I met her, and she really helped me get better. She was always telling me how cute, handsome, and fine she thinks I am. She tells me good things about myself every day. I remember telling her that she is the only person that has ever complimented me unprovoked and for no reason at all. It makes me feel really good about myself. Especially coming from her. She always finds a way to playfully compliment me or make me feel good about myself. I remember before we were even together, she was telling me that I was super cute, and I playfully said, "You might think so, but I don't agree." She smiled and said, "Shut up. You're cute because I said so and I have great taste in guys." Thank you. For the record, I don't normally talk about myself like this. I am not one of those people that is always reminding their partner that they are more attractive than them. I know that looks aren't everything, but my girlfriend is a social media model. Being with a girl that's so sought after made me feel a bit insecure in the beginning. She is not shy about our relationship, and she posts pictures of us together from time to time. Whenever she does, she turns the comments off because in the past, people have told her how she's too pretty to be with him and pretty much mean comments about how she should dump me because I'm ugly, but after some time of being with her, she made me feel like I don't have to worry about it. What happened? About a week ago, I met her sister for the first time. We were at her sister's apartment, and we were having a good time. After a while, I had to go to the bathroom, so I excused myself. I went down the hall and into the bathroom. Noticed right away that I could still hear them while in the bathroom. At first, I thought it was funny. Maybe my girlfriend would say something funny or embarrassing that we could talk about later. But her sister started talking about me. She was saying that I was sweet, but then my girlfriend needed to stop playing games and get a guy on your level. It hurt my feelings because I thought we were getting along, but I wasn't worried. I know what my girlfriend thinks about me, and there was nothing to worry about. But her sister kept talking about how ugly I was and they were both laughing. My girlfriend was saying, "Shut up. I hate you. "You're so mean," but she was still laughing while she was saying it. Then she says something like, "Listen. He may be ugly, but who cares? He's sweet and he makes me happy, and the sex is great." Her sister said, "Go ahead and date your ugly boy," and she said, "I will." After that, the subject changed and I finished up in the bathroom. I felt awe for the rest of the night, but it didn't say anything. My girlfriend noticed and asked me if I was okay, and I told her I was fine. She said, "I was talking about mentally, not physically silly." She really hurt my feelings, but I know the conversation wasn't even meant to be hurt by me. What was I going to say? "Hey, I overheard your private conversation with your sister, and I know you think I'm ugly." But the longer I go without saying anything, the weirder it feels when she gives me those daily compliments, which I know she doesn't mean now. It just feels more like she pities me and knows I have low self-esteem. So she tried to compensate by giving me empty compliments every day. Everything feels off now and I just want things to feel good again. Let's check in with the community reactions before we call this one a wrap. Rise Stars says, "I see it as your girlfriend saying to her sister, 'Listen, he may be whatever you say and think he is, but he's sweet, etc., etc., rather than thinking you're ugly.' She clearly loves you, and I always believe that when you love someone, they're beautiful to you regardless of what everyone else thinks, which seems to be the case for your girlfriend. Talk to her about what you heard so this doesn't eat away at you for no reason." Pokoff says, "I tend to agree with some other comments. I don't think she was laughing at you, but rather because her sister had moved the conversation into an awkward, uncomfortable territory that was probably more of nervous laughter." The other thing that you have to ask yourself is, what is she getting out of this relationship? Because she's obviously with you for a reason. So even if you aren't the greatest looking guy, you're obviously providing something of great value. As much emphasis as everyone places on appearance, it really isn't everything. I dated a model prior to meeting my wife. She did ads for Nordstrom, Macy's, and other department stores. She was absolutely gorgeous, but she was boring as hell. Seriously, spending time with her was like watching paint dry. While I find my wife extremely attractive and sexy as hell, others would probably consider her more average compared to my ex. Mind you, for me, my wife wins hands down. My point is this: don't beat yourself up. She's definitely attracted to you and you provide something of great value to her life. Normally, I hate it when people say this, but she's chosen you for